Namaste yogis, and welcome back to another session. My name is Mandy, and today we're going to focus on the legs and hips. Just a quick nice flow. We're going to use the sun salutation and moon salutation to get most of the angles of our legs and hips. So you won't necessarily need props today, but if your hamstrings are very tight and you find that the floor moves away from you during your practice, keep blocks handy or keep books handy just to give you support. However, every pose is accessible without any props. You can just bend through the knee or lift up a little bit higher, so you'll be fine if you don't have anything around you. Once you have everything you need, I will meet you back on your mat and we'll get moving. We'll just take a moment to settle in Supta Baddha Konasana, so you can come to lying back on your back. The soles of the feet are touching and the knees are apart. And you just want to allow the hips to open here. You can decide the intensity by either moving the feet out in front of you or drawing them in close to the groin. Whatever is accessible for you at this moment, everything is still cold. And just close your eyes. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. And it is just to settle into the space and onto our mats. Maybe this is the morning and you have quite a day ahead of you, or maybe it's the evening and you have quite a day behind you. Whatever it is, none of that matters now, because we are here on our mats and we're here to focus on our practice. Just a few more breaths, because it feels so good. Okay, let's gently move out. So you can even use the hands to guide the knees up and together. Hug both knees into the chest. And we'll just take a quick supine twist here. So I like to go nice and deep in the supine twist. So you've got options here. You can either just keep the knees together and let them drop over to the side. Alternatively, if you want a glute stretch as well, you can bring the right foot, or the left foot rather, down to the floor, and the right leg crosses over the left leg. And then from here, we drop both legs over to the left hand side. And that awareness of the shoulders staying on the mat. You can reach that right arm out to the side and the head can stay neutral, or you can look over the right shoulder, whatever you choose. Like I said, if this is too much, too soon, then just keep the knees next to each other. Nice, we'll move to the other side, so come back to center. I always like to just neutralize here instead of going straight to the other side, so just hug knees into chest. Good, and then we go to the other side. So either again keeping knees together, or right foot down to the floor, left leg over the right, and we drop both legs over to the right hand side. Shoulders stay on the floor. Can extend the left arm out and look up or over the left shoulder. And we release out. Okay, we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog from here. So you can kick up, maybe cross through the legs, bring the hands to the floor, and step back into downward facing dog.
Doesn't matter how you get there, we'll just all meet in a downward facing dog. Standard procedure, you can walk out the legs a little here, sway the hips from side to side, do whatever feels good. Invite movement into the body, and then just take a breath or two to settle into your downward facing dog. And we'll make our way to the front, so walk the feet forward toward the hands, coming into a forward fold. Take an inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, we'll do 2 sun salutations here with a crescent lunge, and then from there we'll move into moon salutations. So take an inhale, again reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the right leg, then the left, coming into plank. You can always use the knees for support to come down, otherwise move down in a straight line. Inhale, roll shoulders back, crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, release down, tuck the toes under, and we meet in downward facing dog. Take an inhale, reach the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through in between the hands. Whatever way you get there, we'll meet in a crescent lunge. So you stay on the toes of the left foot, and inhale, reach arms up overhead. Sink nice and low. You want to start feeling that stretch in the left hip flexor. Now to intensify the stretch, you can bring the right hand to the right hip and reach the left arm up and over to the right hand side, and the left hip pushes toward the left hand side. Nice deep stretch in the side of the hip here as well. Good, we release out, bring both hands back down to the floor, step left foot forward into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that again to the other side. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step into plank. Use the knees or a straight line all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. Let's move to the other side now. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step that foot in between the hands. And we stay on the toes of that right foot, setting up for crescent lunge, reaching arms up next to the ears. Sink nice and low, stretch in the right hip flexor. To intensify, left hand to the left hip, right arm reaches over to the left hand side, and right hip pushes to the right. And we release out. Bring both hands down to the floor. Step that right foot forward into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. From here we're going to move into our moon salutation. So it's a really nice workout for the hips and the legs. And I'm just going to include a forward fold here as well. I'll sneak that one in. So come to standing at the front of your mat, and you're facing the long side of the mat. And the feet are hip width distance apart. Take an inhale, reach arms up. As you exhale, extend over to the right hand side, feeling the stretch in the left side body. Inhale up, exhale over to the left. Inhale up. Bring the arms into a cactus shape, press the chest up, look up. Good, reach arms back overhead, and we're going to step that left leg to the back of the mat. From here, you're going to point all 10 toes out to the short sides of the mat and sit into your goddess pose. So bending through the knees, go as low as you can, maybe rock from side to side a little bit, just to increase the mobility there, moving into the hips. Okay, from here we'll move into our wide-legged forward fold. So straighten out the legs. Allow the toes to point to the long side of the mat. Take an inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. You can just bring the hands to the mat. If you don't have blocks and the floor just moved away from you, you can always bend in the knees a little or just stay lifted, just as long as you feel the stretch in the inner hamstrings. Take an inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale here. And inhale, reach up. Good, we're going into triangle pose now, so arms extend out to the side. Allow the right toes to face the short side of the mat. The left toes come in about 45 or 90 degrees. We inhale, reach forward, and exhale, release the right hand down to the floor into triangle pose, Trikonasana. If you can, look up to the left thumb. From here we transition into pyramid pose. So cartwheel that left hand down to the floor and swivel onto the toes of that back foot. So you might need to step it in a little bit so that you can flatten out the feet as much as you can. If you need a bend in that front knee, you're welcome to do so. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over that extended leg. Good, inhale, flatten the back. From here we're going to transition into a low lunge. So come onto the knee of that left leg. And inhale, reach arms up next to the ears. Again, sinking nice and low. Feel it in the hip flexor. Release the hands down now to the inside of that right foot. We tuck the toes of the left foot and swivel, coming into a side lunge, still at the front of your mat. You can use your hands for support here. We'll just move forward and back 2 times. Inhale, straighten out the legs and move over to the back of the mat, feeling the stretch in the inner hamstring. Again, take an inhale, lift up and to the other side. Last time, inhale and exhale. And now we're going to complete the mandala at the back of our mat. So you're going to swivel around, come into a low lunge facing the back of your mat. Take an inhale, reach arms up. Good, release both hands down to the floor. Tuck the toes of that back foot and we straighten out both legs. Again, bring that back leg in as much as you need to for your pyramid pose. Inhale, flatten back and exhale, fold. Again, if hammies are tight, keep a bend in the knees or lift up onto the shin. Right, from here we move into our triangle pose again. So you might want to bring that back heel in a little bit just to adjust for the knee. Bring the left hand down to the floor. Inhale, reach right arm up. Trikonasana.
We inhale, come all the way up to standing. And again, we open up for goddess. So all 10 toes face the short sides of the mat. We sink nice and low, arms in a cactus shape. Can again move a little or just stay nice and still, whatever feels good. We'll again take our forward fold here, so straighten out the legs. Allow the toes to point to the long side of the mat. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And again, bring the hands down to the floor. Take an inhale, flatten out the back. Exhale here. Inhale, come all the way up, arms out to the side. And we step to the back of the mat. Feet hip width distance apart, palms to touch above you. Take an inhale. Exhale, extend over to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Arms in cactus shape, press the chest up, look up. Good. Inhale, reach arms up. And exhale, release it down. That was half a moon salutation. So I'm hoping that you're starting to feel your legs and your hips. So unfortunately, there's no other way to go to the front of the mat again. So we will have to do that all again. Really getting into it. Okay, let's move. Inhale, reach arms up overhead. Exhale, extend to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Cactus arm, press the chest to the ceiling, look up. Inhale, reach arms up. As you exhale, step right leg toward the front of the mat. We swivel the toes to the short sides of the mat and sit into goddess pose. Good, straighten out the legs. Toes again face the long side of the mat. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe this time you feel like you want to grab hold of the ankles or maybe the big toes to give you a bit more leverage to pull down. Wherever you are, take an inhale, flatten the back, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flatten back. Exhale here. Inhale, reach up. Good, arms out to the side. We move into our Trikonasana, facing the back of the mat. So swivel the left toes to the short side of the mat. Back foot comes in just enough so that the knee is comfortable. We inhale, reach to the back, and exhale, release into Trikonasana, triangle pose. We swivel into pyramid pose again from here. So release the right hand down to the floor. Come onto the toes of the back foot. Step it in as much as you need to maybe get that heel flat on the floor. Take an inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. We inhale, come up, and release onto that right knee, setting up for our low lunge once again. Take an inhale, reach arms up, sink nice and low. Prepare yourself for our side lunges, so bring both hands to the inside of the left foot, swivel around, still at the back of the mat here. So you can use the hands for support. Otherwise, if you want to try a little challenge, you can bring the hands to heart center, reach up and over to the back, or rather the front of the mat. Good. If it feels uncomfortable on the knees or the groin, rather use the hands for support. We'll do that twice more. Inhale and exhale to the back. Last time, inhale, exhale to the front.
Let's go into our low lunge again. So drop the hands to the mat, swivel around, drop onto the left knee. Inhale, reach arms up, sink nice and low. Drop both hands down to the floor, tuck the toes of the left foot, and we meet in pyramid pose, straightening out both legs. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, fold over the extended leg. Next, we move into triangle pose again. So bring that back heel in a little bit. Knee nice and comfortable. Right hand down to the floor or onto the shin. And inhale, left arm reaches up. Deja vu. Good. Inhale, come up. We're almost there, don't worry. All toes face the short sides of the mat. We sit into our goddess pose. Maybe you can go a little lower this time. One of my students once said this feels more like a screaming goddess. So if you're experiencing that, don't worry, it's normal. Can be quite intense. Okay, straighten out the legs. Inhale, reach arms up. The toes face the long sides of the mat. And we fold forward one last time. And maybe again, you want to use a bit of your upper body strength to go deeper into the pose. I'm going to grab my toes. Inhale, flatten the back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, flatten the back again. Exhale here. Inhale, all the way up. Step to the front of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Palms touch overhead. Take an inhale. Exhale, extend over to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. And last time, those 90-degree angles in the arms. Puff the chest up to the ceiling. Look up. And reach the arms up. And release. Nice. That was one moon salutation. Well done. I know it can be a bit confusing, but that's why you've got me. Okay, we'll just transition back to the mat. So face the front of your mat again. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's just take a squat here. So heel toe the feet a bit further than hip width distance apart. You can allow the toes to face the long sides of the mat, and we sit down into our squat. Maybe you lifted, that's fine. We won't stay here for too long. Can just use the elbows to pry open the knees, hands at heart center, lengthen through the spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. One more breath. And with control, maybe release down to seated. Good, well done. Let us lie back onto the mat. We'll take a quick bridge pose. So allow the heels to come in close so that you can touch the heels with the fingertips. And we're going to inhale and reach the hips up to the ceiling. We'll take a little challenge here since we're working on the hips today as well. So try and keep the hips where they are. As you inhale, reach the right leg up to the sky. And then bring that right heel to the left knee, coming into a figure four. Stay nice and lifted. Nice, you got this. And then keep the legs as they are. Just release the spine down to the floor. And we'll hug the legs in to go into our reclined figure four. So reaching through that gap between the legs, either clasping behind the thigh or grabbing hold of the shin.
and pull the legs in close. If you want to intensify the stretch in the glute a little bit here, you can drop onto that left elbow. So the right glute will come off the floor, but you'll instantly feel a nice stretch there. Let's release, back to center, hug both knees into chest, and we'll go to the other side now. So drop the feet down to the floor again, heels in close. We move into bridge pose. Inhale. Reach the hips up to the ceiling. And then we straighten out the left leg toward the sky. Keep it nice and lifted. And then bring the left heel to the right knee into your figure four. We'll just stay here for a moment. And keeping the shape of the legs, we're going to release down onto our backs again. Nice, move into your figure four. So threading through the legs, grabbing hold of the thigh or the shin. Again, if you want to intensify, drop down onto that right elbow. And let's bring it back to neutral. Hug both knees into chest. Rock from side to side. And you're welcome here to move into your Shavasana. So for Shavasana, the legs are extended and the arms are next to your side, nice and relaxed. So you can pause the video here and stay here for about 5 minutes. Otherwise, if you're ready to come out and get on with it, you can come up to seated. Close your eyes and bring hands to heart center. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be protected from inner and outer dangers. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you be happy and find true peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me again today, yogis. Well done for showing up. I'm super proud of you. Then if you want to go and check out this week's podcast episode on personal development, this week's topic is about who we become with what we consume and who we keep around us. Very important. You want to help yourself to set yourself up for success, and it has a huge influence on you, what you consume on a daily basis and the people you keep in your circle. So be sure to go and check that out. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Namaste.